So you're interested in becoming a professional speaker. The best tip that I have for you is join the National Speakers Association. Now you're probably thinking, well, wait a minute, why would I join an organization of other speakers? Why would I want to be around my competitors? Well, I think that to be successful in this business, you have to have speaker friends. This business isn't just a single business. It's like 10 different things. And from the outside looking in, it looks like one thing. But once you're involved, you start realizing there is a lot of layers and you can't live in all 10 different areas of the speaking business. You have to pick one or two areas and make that where you focus. And so getting around other speakers and making actual friendships and sharing conversations is the fastest way to be able to figure out the nuances of this business. Now, sometimes people get advice that, well, you shouldn't join the National Speakers Association. There's too many new speakers. There's too many wannabes. Well, if you're watching this video, you probably are a newer speaker and you're kind of a wannabe who wants to get into the industry. So you want to be around other people like that. You want to make friendships with people who are hungry and trying new things. And oftentimes that advice that, well, I don't think you need to spend your money joining the National Speakers Association, lots of times that advice comes from a coach or someone trying to sell a course. Now, I want you to think for a minute. If someone is trying to separate you from a small amount of money that you have to invest in yourself for a business like the speaking business, and they tell you, oh, don't give your money over there, give your money to me, maybe they have an ulterior motive of why they're telling you NSA isn't the place to be. Now, the National Speakers Association it's not a speakers bureau. It's not a speakers agency. It's not there to get you booked into speaking gigs. It is a trade association. And people join trade associations so that they can meet their peers, find out best practices, get access to learning so that they can go forward and create their own best practices for their business. Now, I'm a joiner. If I was a plumber, I would join the National Plumbers Association. So that's one of the reasons that early on in my career trek to become a professional speaker, I got very involved with NSA. Now, here's the thing. NSA provides you with access to the people because, as I said, having those speaker friends, it's going to help you answer a lot of those tough questions. But they also provide a lot of learning for people at all stages of their career, whether you're just entering the speaking business, whether you're sort of established, or whether you're actually growing a business that's becoming more of a celebrity-style speaking career where you're in high demand. They are there to provide information on how you can best navigate this crazy business of being a person who earns money through using the spoken word. Now, if you get involved with NSA, you can't just write a check and imagine that magic fairy dust is going to give you all of these opportunities, all of these friendships, and all of this knowledge. Beyond just joining, you have to participate. Now, the good news is now you can participate online. NSA offers all kinds of online training and social events and ways to get connected, but you also want to make sure that you're attending the live in-person events. So they put on a big conference every summer called Influence, and they put on a winter conference that's a little bit smaller and more intimate. And both of these conferences have amazing keynote speakers who are going to teach you things about the business. And they're going to have breakout sessions where you can go and deep dive into areas that you need to learn about marketing, finance, etc., to be able to have a really strong speaker business. They also have a fantastic podcast. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I'm the host of that show. It's called Speakernomics, and you can find the NSA podcast on Apple, on Stitcher, on Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. And every week, I interview somebody about how they achieved success in the business. The whole idea is, how do you build a better business as a professional speaker? And how do you make more money? Because that's what you want. If you're going to get into this business, you want to make the money. So the National Speakers Association is a great place. It is sort of a warm nest of friends amongst people who earn their living as speakers. So I would suggest, if you want to grow a business in the speaking business, you want to grow a business as a speaker, I would suggest that you go to nsaspeaker.org and join, because there's so much value that you're going to get out of being part of this community. But one thing to realize is, with any community that you join, it might take a while for you to sort of get in and make your connections with your people and your friends. I talk to people all the time who say, oh, Tom, I went to NSA one time 8 years ago and I didn't get anything out of it. And I say, well, what did you go to? And they said, I went to a conference for 3 days, but I had to leave a day early, but I didn't get anything. Nobody helped me. Well, you can't just show up and imagine the whole world is going to, bow down to help you. You have to get involved, volunteer, show up time after time. It might take you a couple of years to find your niche within any organization that you join. But the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Because to be a successful speaker, you have to understand all the nuances of this crazy business. And you have to get really good on stage. And one of the ways you get really good is you pay attention to the people who have mastered the craft. And the more you speak, the better you're going to get. When I first got involved in this industry, I read an article in Speaker Magazine, which, by the way, is proof there's a magazine for everybody. And in this magazine article, they interviewed Roxanne Emmerich. Now, if you don't know who Roxanne is, she is a legend in the speaking industry. And she said in this article that probably was 15 years ago, she said that before you're ever going to be great on stage, you have to give about 300 professional level speeches. Now, at the time I'd read that, I'd given like 20. And I was like, 300 speeches? Oh my God, that's so far. I'll never get there. But I started tracking every single time I was invited to speak, whether I was paid or not. I tracked every single speech. How many people were in the audience? How long was the presentation? What topic did I talk about? And what happened is somewhere around that 300th talk, I got really comfortable in my own skin on stage. Didn't matter what happened, I was able to handle that situation. And I started to notice that my clients noticed how comfortable I was on stage, because the more you do things, the better you're going to get. It's sort of like the 10,000 hours theory. I call it the 300 speeches theory. So you've got to get out there and speak. Stephen King one time said that writers, if they want to be great, they write. They don't worry if they're published, but every day they just have to get it out of them. Writers write. And I've taken that and switched it around, and I say that speakers speak. And so if you want to be a truly great speaker, you got to get out there and speak more. But the tip of this video is, if you want to succeed in the industry, you've got to learn about the industry. And the only way I know to really dissect it and do it fast is to get involved with NSA. You can find them at nsaspeaker.org. You find the right level of membership for you, and then you can join and then start getting involved. Attend the online learning sessions, get involved in the Facebook community and participate, and then start attending the live in-person meetings. Now, when you show up there, look for people who are like you and grow up together in the industry. Don't stalk the more celebrity speakers or the people who are really well established, thinking that they're going to discover you and somehow hand you their crumbs. I talk to speakers all the time who, that's what they want. They want that one famous speaker to be their mentor. Well, that could happen, but I haven't seen that happen very much in my 12 plus years in this business. I one time was at the National Speakers Association summer conference, and I watched a woman who literally threw an elbow to take a seat next to Brian Tracy, the legendary speaker. And she pushed another woman out of the way so that she could get that seat right next to Brian Tracy. And then by coincidence, the woman who did the pushing sat next to me at lunch. And so we had a very nice conversation, and I jokingly told her, wow, I saw you push that other woman out of the way. And she goes, Tom, you don't understand. I needed to meet Brian Tracy, because Brian Tracy, if he discovered me, he could make my whole career based on what I speak on. I don't think that Brian Tracy discovered her. I've never seen that woman again at NSA or anywhere else that I've been in the industry. And I think that this idea that you're going to show up, stalk the celebrities, become best friends with someone who's a big deal, and that they're going to give you their leftover speeches, I just don't think it really works that way. But what I do think works is that when you get involved in the industry and you have speaker friends, you can share ideas. You can refer each other. You can learn from each other, because success leaves clues. So get involved, find people like you, and grow up together in the industry. And a great place to start is investing in yourself and joining the National Speakers Association, and then participating for several years and actively building friendships with people so that you can inspire each other and help each other grow and learn, because it's a crazy business. Thanks for watching this video. That's my tip, and I hope that our paths will cross at an NSA meeting.